welcome to today's scrapbooking process video. Today I'm scrapbooking these two photos. One is of my grandma playing the piano at church, and the other one is a photo of the hymnal that I was holding. So I'm using up the very last bits of my Felicity Jane Susie kit. And so while this isn't a Scrap Your Scraps video, it sort of is because all I really have left is scraps. And so I'm just going to be doing some layering and using up all the last bits of this Susie kit. So this is a photo of my grandma playing the piano, as I mentioned. And if you've been following my channel for a little while, you probably have already heard me talk about my grandma, but she has Alzheimer's. And so she can't really remember a lot. She can't remember where she is or who we are, but we take her to church on Sundays, and there is one thing that she remembers: playing the piano. She loves playing the piano and singing, and she doesn't remember who she is, what day it is, who we are, or any of that, but there is one thing that she loves, and that's playing the piano. And she could play any hymn that you asked her to do. Like if you named off a hymn, she would play it, and she would sing it, and she would know every single word. It's actually really incredible to think that like she doesn't remember anything else but singing hymns and knowing every single word and the notes and everything, and she doesn't even play with music, she just knows it by heart. It's just really precious. And so I wanted to take a picture of her playing the piano, and I wanted to scrapbook that, so that's why I'm using these two photos. And then I'm also going to be using some of the scraps left over from my Felicity Jane kit, just basically doing a lot of layering. So this is this Susie kit, and I don't actually know what any of these papers are called, sorry. I'm basically just sticking them and layering them underneath the two photos. And I thought I would do sort of a inverted T kind of shape. I don't know, I see people do this online all the time, so I wanted to try it myself. So I'm basically just adding the different layers in there and figuring out where I want them to go. I hope you guys are doing well and that you're enjoying this time of year. I don't enjoy this time of year. It's cold and it's wet and it's rainy and the weather changes every other day. But I mean, I love the snow. I don't think I could live somewhere where there wasn't snow because it's just so beautiful to me. I don't like sloshing through it, but I like looking out the window to see it. So I've put the papers where I want them to go, and now I'm going to stick them down. And so because I wanted them to stay exactly where I stuck them, I'm sort of just placing my hand on top and then just using my hot glue gun to glue down the corners of the different pages, because I really don't want them to move. Normally this isn't how I scrapbook. Like normally I just sort of put things wherever, and I'm not like super precise about it, but I think because of the way that this layout was working and because I really wanted it to stay exactly where I had it, that's what I was doing, and it worked really well for this. And I'm using two photos, which is, I don't normally use two photos on a scrapbook page, but I think it's good for me to try different things every once in a while, and these photos go well together, so they might as well be together, right? And now I'm just cutting off all the branding strips. I thought about using a couple of those branding strips like in the layers, and I'm going to try to use them. These are all the branding strips that were left on the Felicity Jane papers, and the branding strips are so beautiful that I really wanted to try and use them, but I just couldn't make them work. So those will go into my scrap bin to be used later. And then once I've decided where I want the photos to go, I'm also using the same technique of like holding it down and gluing it down. And if you're not very good at layers, I want to give you some tips for that, because I know people always say, how do you layer? So the first tip is to use styles of paper or pattern papers that have different weights to them. So like the big black polka dot and the flower have a big heavy weight because the print is really big. But then the little tiny polka dots or the blue paper are more of a small, and then there's also some mediums in there. So I'm just trying to mix and mingle between those different ones. And then you also want to try to add different types of layers in there. So that's where adding these doilies is really helping. It just breaks it up a little bit. And then the other thing you'll notice is that none of the corners of the paper perfectly line up. They're all off a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see that, and I think that helps with the layers as well. So then I thought it would be fun to add some more of this floral paper. So what I did was I fussy cut around these flowers, and I'm going to add them in 3 places around the photo to make sort of like my embellishment clusters, or to be the base for that. And I just love this floral paper that was in the Susie kit. It's just so pretty. I think I used one sheet for like backgrounds, and then the other one I just completely fussy cut the whole floral design out because it's just so beautiful. And I'm just using my hot glue gun to stick all of this down, and I've had a couple people ask lately, I know I've said it before, but I've had a couple people ask why I use my hot glue gun, so I wanted to just tell you why, and I think it's because I have a whole bunch of new subscribers. I use my hot glue gun for a number of reasons. One, I love it. It's easy and it's cheap adhesive. It is archivally safe, but really it's mostly for the ease of it. Like, I love that I can just turn it on and it's ready to go and I don't run out of adhesive. And I also love that it's so cheap to use. And I've found that when I stick things down with my hot glue gun, they don't pop off. When I use other adhesive, like sometimes things pop off, or you go back later and you look at your layouts and everything's fallen off of them. I really want to keep my things secure, and I feel like my hot glue gun is the best for that. So I use it for everything, like cards, project life, scrapbook pages, everything. I just love my hot glue gun. And I'm pretty sure I've probably converted some of you subscribers. So if you have converted to using your hot glue gun, maybe you can leave a comment down below, like encouraging other people, and tell them why you love your hot glue gun so much. I need to get a new one. This one's really old and I use it so much that I think it's getting like sort of stuck a little bit. So next time I go to Walmart, I'm going to look for a new one. So maybe in the next few layouts, you'll notice a different hot glue gun pop up into the screen. So now I'm going to work on my title. Now I was thinking that I wanted to use these white puffy sticker letters that came in the kit, but there weren't enough to spell the title that I wanted. So instead I used these wood veneer letters that I had purchased off of this Felicity Jane store. And my title is going to be Grandma and Me. And I'm going to just do a little bit of journaling on this layout about how every single Sunday, like I'm not even joking, every single Sunday when we take Grandma to church, she has such a great time singing and listening to the sermon, although she won't remember it, but she loves that. And then as soon as the message is done and people are filtering out of the sanctuary, as soon as it's done, she asks me, "Do you think anyone would mind if I played that piano?" And of course I always say no, because nobody really minds because she's incredible at it. So we go up onto the stage and she sits at the piano and she plays, and you just see her close her eyes and smile, and it's just, she's so happy. And for me, that's a win. I mean, when you have Alzheimer's and you don't remember everything, you can't remember what you've eaten, you can't remember where you are, or who people are, or anything, to be truly blissful and happy, it just makes my heart just so happy. So, and everybody loves hearing her play because she's just so sweet and she's so fantastic at the piano. Like, she is so talented. So I'm going to finish off my layout here by adding my journaling, and I decided to add my journaling around the frame of the layout because I didn't want to mat this paper on another paper, but I felt like it needed something around the edges, and I also thought this would be the perfect place for me to do my journaling. So I'm using a black 0.01 precision pen from American Crafts, I believe. And I'm just adding my journaling about my grandma all the way around, and just talking about how each Sunday she asks me if she can play the piano. And every single Sunday I say absolutely and take her up there because it just makes her so happy. So, and every single Sunday, like without fail, she tells me what her favorite song is again. Her favorite song is His Eye is on the Sparrow, and she loves playing that song. But basically, like sometimes when we're sitting there, she'll be like, "Tell me a song to play." So I will grab grab a hymnal, and I'll just flip and I'll just pick random songs. Like I'll be like Amazing Grace or Though the Deer, and she knows them all. Like, I'm not even joking, she knows every single song. Like, I've never given her a song that she doesn't know all the words of and doesn't know how to play. That's how incredibly talented she is. And it's so crazy to think that she might have Alzheimer's, or that she does have Alzheimer's, but yet she knows them all. Anyways, I thought my layout could use just a little something extra, and so I thought about just adding some stitching to the layout. So that's what I'm doing here. Sorry it's super fast, but I didn't want to make you sit through it for a really long time. So what I did was I added some little X's in 3 places on the layout using just some white embroidery thread. And I'm going to hold that up here so that you can check it out. I did it just in a couple places, just a couple X's. And then to finish off the layout, I'm just going to add some of these silver clear rhinestones just on top of those 3 embellishment clusters, and that's it. The layout is done. I'm going to slow it down and hold it up so you guys can check it out. I hope that you have a lovely day, and check back later for more process videos or Scrap Your Scraps videos. Bye!